So one of my very first cake fails was actually a cake that tipped over while I was in the process of delivering it. Okay, so in this video, I am going to show you how to properly stack and dowel a two-tier cake. So what you want to do, the first thing you want to do is get you some boba straws, and all of the supplies that I use will be in the description. I am placing a 5-inch cake on top, so therefore I am using 5 boba straws. And now I am just placing them into the bottom tier. And now I'm just cutting off the tops. You want to cut those down because you have to also put your top tier on a cake. So your top tier is going to be supported by those boba straws once you cut them down. Okay. And now I'm going to show you how I place them in my cake. Okay, so you see that middle one? That middle one I put a little bit off centered because when I do put the whole wooden dowel through both cakes, I don't want that wooden dowel to hit my straw. So that's why it's a little bit off centered. And I definitely recommend you do that as well. Okay, so once you do that, you're gonna grab some buttercream, and I like to use some buttercream, and I just put it right on top of the boba straws. It kind of creates like a little suction effect once I do put that top tier on. Okay, so I put them on all 5 boba straws, and that's how it looks. And you don't want to put a ton of buttercream because you don't want it oozing from the bottom once you place that top tier on there. So once you are done with that, go ahead and grab your top tier. Now, I like to make sure I am lining it up, make sure the back of the red tier or your top tier is the same as the bottom. Okay, so once you're done with that and it's all centered, grab your leveler, and that leveler is a lifesaver because once you put it on top and you can read, once you read the leveler, that bubble should be in the middle of those 2 lines. So we're looking at the center one. Okay, so once it is level, go ahead and grab your wooden dowel. Okay, and again, all of the descriptions will be in the link below. Now I am just sizing it up and I am cutting it the same height as the cake. You want it the same height as the cake. Put it right next to the cake. Don't put it next to the cake board because you don't want that height of the cake board, or the cake drum, I should say. Okay, so once you cut that with the wire cutters, I like to use a pencil sharpener so I could sharpen that dowel up to get a nice pointy edge. I like to do this because it goes through your cake board so smoothly. You definitely don't want to have to force your dowel, your wooden dowel through. Okay, so once I do that, I just sand it down a little bit because of course you don't want any loose wooden pieces in your cake. All right, and then once it's all done, once that's all sharpened, I use my X-Acto knife, and I like to cut like a little C shape, and then I like to like flip the little flap up, and then that is where I insert my wooden dowel. So it's going right through the middle. It is going through the cake board of the red tier. Okay, and then now to make that go all the way down, you can use, so what I'm using, I'm just using the other half of my wooden dowel. I was just sanding off the little loose wooden pieces. So you just want to use that and then press it down. That's what will help get that dowel all the way in. So that dowel, you want it to go through that top tier, the bottom tier, and a portion of your cake board. So there you have it. This cake is nice and secure. It will not tip over, and the top tier will not fall through. If you found this video helpful, please consider liking and subscribing to my channel. See you guys on the next video.